Kentucky. Whoa. I think Mark Stoops is, I know for a fact he has increased the expectations of this program by a lot. And the issue with that is you lose an NFL quarterback in Will Levis. You lose Chris Rodriguez, who's also an NFL running back, Carrington Valentine. But and you lost some guys on the offensive line, but also your offensive line wasn't all that great last year. So
it was horrible. Oh my God,
yeah.
It was terrible.
But you also lose Justin Rogers too, as well, to Auburn.
Yes.
Who's a nose tackle monster, right? Probably should have added him to this list. No, Carrington Valentine's pretty good too. But guys that they get, right? They get Devin Leary from NC State, which is a really good get.
Is that an upgrade from Will Levis? I don't know. I don't know if it, in terms of just like comparing quarterback, I think Devin Leary is going to look better than Will Levis. I think he's absolutely going to look better. And it's not Will Levis' fault. I think it's just the reality of the situation there at Kentucky.
Yeah. So people talking about I've heard people talk about, oh, it's an upgrade. What? Okay, let's be real. Okay, let's be real. Okay, it's not an upgrade, but of all the other things, Auburn was scrambling to find a quarterback. Bama. What would Bama do right now to have Devin Leary on their team? Anything. Yeah, they would do anything. So this is a great get. So I'm not knocking this at all. This is a great get. They also got pretty solid talent there at on the edge. Barry Brown, one of the fastest players in the entire country. Kentucky fans know that. They love this guy. All I hear about is Barry Brown. Whenever I see on Twitter, who are the fastest players in college football? It is 25 Kentucky players or Kentucky fans just Barry Brown. Yeah, he's really good. So I like him a lot. Deion Walker is also very good. D tackle. I know you really like him a lot. JJ Weaver at edge, pretty solid. With that being said, the over-under's at 6.5 this year, with a pretty tough schedule because you draw Bama from the West.
Yeah.
What are your expectations? And at Mississippi State, by the way. So what are your expectations for this team? Over-under 6.5 wins.
The thing is this team feels like 7-5, easy, 8-4, and even I think the upside is there for 9-3. And even obviously 10-2 is there if you lose to Bama and Georgia and beat everybody else, because everybody else is beatable. Don't get me wrong, Tennessee, they get at home, right? They got to go to Louisville, and again, Louisville is going to be pretty good and they're going to win a lot of games, but that's absolutely a winnable game. To South Carolina is a game I look like that definitely scares me. I want to take the over, and I do. I'm not gonna. I definitely lean it, and I'm gonna kick myself when it hits. The problem is I think with taking the over, I think the floor of this team scares me with the offensive line. And I know they played well. They won 7 games with terrible O-line last year, but their defense was damn good with a bad O-line. And yeah, it kind of scares me with what they have to do. I think Devin Leary kind of fits. It's going to help. I think because he's so accurate, he doesn't make mistakes. He's going to be able to find these receivers and hopefully quick hitters, so the offensive line doesn't have to hold up as well as, with Will Levis' strong arm. You want to take advantage of that with play action pass and deep shots. But behind him, you saw the bowl game. They're not very good, So again, that's why it scares me to take the over, to put money on it. But I think if you're a Kentucky fan, you got to feel really good about this team, especially best case scenario of what can happen with Mark Stoops. I think last year definitely underperformed. I think everyone bought into Kentucky last year with all the talent they brought back with Will Levis, but nobody really everyone ignored the offensive line issues, and it definitely hit him hard. But yeah, what say you?
Well, what did they do to fix the offensive line?
4 transfers, looks like a bunch of them.
Yeah, are they going to start? I don't know.
Well, Marquez Cox from NIU is pretty damn good, and they're going to move the left tackle, Kenneth Horsey, back into left guard where he was all SEC guard. He's not a tackle by any means, especially not in the SEC when you got to go against some damn good edge rushers there. But I think that helps a little bit. But depth again, it's not there, which is why I'm not taking the over. You go for it.
Yeah, and I'm a push at 6.5, so I don't lean over and I don't lean under. but I know I can't take the over with this offensive line depth at all.
Yep.
I mean, what you have like you have between like guards and centers, like interior offensive linemen, you have 3 people that could maybe like back up and play that position. 4 or 5 maybe, but like not well at all. So
No, if
interior
they're worse
offensive
than the
line,
starters, how good they're gonna be pretty damn bad.
yeah. So the thing that saves me though is the defense is really awesome. I think it's gonna be good again, and like people don't know like a lot of these names, right? Josiah Hayes, Deion Walker, JJ Weaver, Trevor Wallace, but these are good players. These are good players. So I'm in the schedule. Honestly, I do think it's really tough. I think out of conference is not bad at all. They should go 3-1. I think Louisville. I think they lose that game again. You and I are both high on Louisville, and they go to
Yeah.
Louisville. So the problem is like a game like South Carolina is really winnable. That they get that on the road, right? Vanderbilt, they look to get that on the road. That could be an interesting game, potential slip up spot, especially after you've
Yeah.
played 3 cakewalk games. And kind of look ahead to Florida because I mean that's kind of Kentucky's Super Bowl. Well, Louisville, but like Kentucky,
They want to beat
that
Florida this year again.
they want to beat Florida again this year. So, um, and then I think the West teams that you drop, Mississippi State and Alabama, those are 2 of some of, in my opinion, the worst teams that you can get, especially if you're playing Mississippi State on the road.
Exactly. And if you're a Kentucky fan, you'd almost rather just, give me Alabama on the road. I'm going to lose it anyways. And let me have a chance against Mississippi State at home where I feel a lot
Yes.
better than going into Starkville.
Yeah. So I think the schedule for me, I can't take the over, and but I'm not gonna take the under because it's defense. So I don't lean either direction. But definitely like this could be an exciting year for Kentucky fans. It is cool though. Like Devin Leary was a big time transfer quarterback, and the fact that they were able to go out and get him, right? It's pretty office. It's pretty awesome, right? And then you get Ray Davis, right? Like another transfer running back that was pretty good from Vanderbilt. Um, one of Devin Leary's running backs transfers from NC State. Um, like it feels like that this is becoming a little bit. If you're landing big time transfers like that, it feels like you might be doing something right. So I think Mark Stoops once again has raised the floor of this program, and the fact that the over unders at 6.5 is a credit to Mark Stoops and that program. But I'm gonna push. I'm not gonna take it either way.
I think real quick a guy to note behind Deion or actually alongside Deion Walker on defensive line is Keyshawn Silver. And if you're a North Carolina fan, you know that name because you're gonna cringe because he's another 5-star guy, really uber talented defensive lineman that did not live up to the billing at UNC. And it sounds like obviously Mark Stoops and staff there is pretty good at developing, defensive line, especially on the interior. Keyshawn Silver sounds like he's been playing pretty darn good. And if they can unlock even a little bit of that potential there, him and Deion Walker can be a force up the middle,
I agree. I agree 100%. So Kentucky, we like you a lot. All right, we're high on you in some ways. So good luck to you guys. I'll be rooting for Kentucky for sure.
Absolutely.